you're drunk,
Blasted.
intoxicated,
Rip. Plaster.
destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
How much money is there to go around? And where
We would like to thank the following sponsors.
Stop. Who will be without a chair? How many of them will be Dallas Cowboys? People keep getting paid, and the more people that get paid, the more people want to get paid. Good morning to you. Merry Wednesday, day after Election Day. Got out and voted yesterday. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. How you living?
What it do?
You all right? One more night without hoops. I mean, NBA hoops. You had WNBA last night. You could watch Angel Reese get thrown out and chirp at the refs if you want. She's got the headlines now. If you want to talk NBA, WNBA, and it'll still be nothing about basketball. It'll be about off-court stuff. Christian McCaffrey got paid, and the Niners announced the deal. Adam Schefter's reporting 2 years added to his contract, averaging $19 million a year. So the Niners added $8 million to what McCaffrey was scheduled to make this year and next year, $24 million in guarantees. He's 28, coming up on the magic number of 30, but he is the best running back in the game. Are we arguing this? Anybody arguing he's the best running back in the game? Like I don't even know who would be the next conversation. If you said, all right, yeah, well, this guy's is good. I mean, is Saquon? Saquon's hurt a lot. Is there somebody that you're even having a conversation?
Saquon.
It would be
number 2, but this is a clear cut. It's Christian McCaffrey as number 1.
Yeah, yep. So he resets the market, and over 2,000 yards from scrimmage. He had 21 touchdowns last year, and the Niners believe that he's going to be fine going into his 30s. Kyle Shanahan, their head coach, said, quote, "You don't picture him losing any of that because of age, but that stuff does happen. Christian's always going to be a good football player until he decides not to be. And we're not really concerned with that at all with his type of personality. So he's the latest. And we'll get into who wants to get paid, and I guess everybody does. But this one, I don't know that I saw it coming. Maybe I should have. Did you? I mean, was this one on your radar as far as who was going to get an extension, who was going to get more money?
It was not.
You good with it?
Yeah, this is what smart teams do.
Right.
You up guarantees so you have a player that's happy on an extension because San Francisco knows after this year they're losing one of their playmakers, whether it's Deebo Samuel or Brandon Ayuk, because Ayuk is up next for an extension. Deebo has an out in his contract extension after this season where the team can save some money. They're going to have to pay Brock Purdy. Yeah. So if you want to continue to be a successful football team, you have to be proactive in your deals.
I think that's right. This is a guy who was Offensive Player of the Year in the NFL. They've had 5 with the Niners. Jerry Rice, Steve Young, Joe Montana, Roger Craig, and Jerry Rice. I mean, it's a hell of a list. I don't know if they can pay everybody once they have to pay a quarterback. And I think it's a pretty common thought that either Brandon Ayuk or Deebo Samuel is going to get moved, right? Now, if they can find a way to keep everybody happy, they don't have to pay their quarterback this year. This is year 3 of their rookie year on Brock Purdy, who's making under $1 million a year for a NFL quarterback who took his team to the NFC Championship 2 years in a row. If Brock Purdy has a Brock Purdy year, so that means that numbers on par with his first 2 years or slightly better. What is Brock Purdy? I mean, Brock Purdy, then, if everybody else is making $50 million a year and he goes back to the NFC Championship, he's in that conversation, is he not?
Well, it's not about that. It's about guaranteed money, and you're looking at a quarterback that his contract is going to be valued well over $200 million, and his guarantees are going to be $120, $130 million, which puts him in that top 5 mix, and that's where his production has settled in at, and it's why, if you're San Francisco, you're trying to do these little things right now to keep Christian McCaffrey around for a few years, knowing that all indications it's Deebo Samuel that's the one that's going to be gone after they extend Brandon Ayuk, and then you keep your fingers crossed because you still have to draft and develop really well. It's the only way you can do that in this league is by identifying the players you want to keep around that are going to make money because people are still going to get paid in the NFL. And what's next? Trent Williams, 36. So they're coming up on they can keep the window open long, but then they're still going to have to hit some big time home runs in terms of in the trenches, on the defense in the secondary, because Nick Bosa is getting paid a boatload of money as well, and all those things are going to feel that much tighter when Brock Purdy gets paid.
So I look at Brock Purdy because I think that
resets them. Like, this is a big year for them, right? This is a big year for 49ers. Because once
We would
they
like
have
to thank
pay
the
their
following
bonus,
sponsors for making this broadcast.
they don't have to next year. But usually that's what we're after your third year in a rookie deal. That's usually where now they could hold on for another year and then extend for a fifth. And I imagine that's how that could go. But of the quarterbacks that are out there looking for contracts, realistically, and I know what the narrative is, and I know what the thought is. What should Brock Purdy's contract look like in comparison to whatever Dak Prescott's going to get?
It's going to be bigger.
You think so?
I do.
Yeah, I think it might. And I think it should. I'm not sure it will. How about that?
Unless he's comfortable with a team-friendly deal. And then I want to be surrounded by these players.
That'd be $45 million a year-ish average. So that'd be 150.
Lower guarantees.
Yeah.
It's
an $80 million guaranteed or something.
Yeah, it's all about the guarantees.
Yeah.
Because you can make $1 per year if you wanted to, but 180 million of it's guaranteed money.
Well, we saw the Deshaun Watson thing the year that he got suspended. His salary was $1 million because they knew that they were going to carve out 13 of those games, and so of that 250 million, he lost about 750,000 of it instead of losing, 13 17ths or what was it, 11 17ths of 50 million, right? So they protected him. If you were a franchise and you're looking, I don't know, 2 years out, maybe even 1 year out, Brock Purdy wouldn't be a free agent. Who would you rather have moving forward? Who would you rather sign? I'm looking at some of the quarterbacks who might be moving, and it's Dak, it's Tua, it's Purdy. And Purdy, I don't think is moving. Who would you rather have of those three for the next 5 to 8 years? I might make an argument for Brock Purdy. And you know how I feel about the Niners. But just numbers-wise, results-wise, and granted, they've all been surrounded by pretty good talent. And I know one guy was drafted in the top 5, and another guy was in the third round, another guy was the last guy.
I think we got 5, 4th, and last pick.
Right? I think Purdy, as I sit here today, and look, that could change. I've watched 2 years worth of a guy that doesn't make a lot of mistakes, gets the ball where it needs to be, seems to be pretty cerebral about the game, pretty calm. I like his demeanor. He wins. I think that's the guy I want.
It'd be Brock Purdy, Dak Prescott, Tua.
Okay. I'm with you on Dak over Tua also. I think we're in the same order. I'll ask you that today. Let's open it up today. 505. There's a lot to talk about. 505-246-0610. That is the Sports Animals phone line, the Sports Animals text line. Area code 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. JJ, you spell it with a J and then another J. JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. On the Twitter, which is now called X _JJ Buck. And on the Facebook, I have got my camera up. And sorry, Adrian, about the delay. We are on the Facebook, The OD in the AM. You can watch the show there, or you can go to the YouTube channel for ProView Networks, or you can go to go to Comcast Channel 26. It's all available for you to watch the program. Adrian adds a bunch of video stuff to it when we're talking about different topics, and it just adds a little something to it. So that's all available for you. We're going to get through a bunch of NFL today. While Christian McCaffrey got paid, there's a guy who kind of is already getting paid, but wants to get paid, if that makes sense. We'll get there. You got some local news, players deciding where they're going to go play college athletics, And LeBron talking about his former running mate, Kyrie, and how he's bleeping mad that they're not running mates anymore. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. Glad you're with us on a Wednesday. On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on? Who are you guys?
Well, sir, I'm going to pick you up at the DWI checkpoint for drunk driving.
And that's when I have to come down to get you out of jail.
Well, temporarily. I'm Judge Torres.
They call him the Hammer. Hey, hot off the presses, champ.
I'm real proud of you, honey.
Way to make them happy back home, Captain. Who's that? That's your new buddy in jail.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. The drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
All right, so who gets paid? Christian McCaffrey gets paid. You saw, I mean, wide receivers getting paid all over the place. Is that bubble about ready to burst? I don't know. Tyreek Hill says, pay me first. Wait a minute. Isn't Tyreek Hill getting paid? Wasn't he the highest paid wide receiver, period? That got broken the other day, right? Who broke that the other day? The wide receiver?
Justin Jefferson.
Oh, that's right. So Tyreek Hill, the Dolphins receiver, he wants a new contract. His contract was the market setter, right? Like a week ago. But now that somebody else has more, you got to get him more. And he wants his quarterback paid too. And I think common thought is Tua Tagovailoa is not going to get paid before this season. Quote Tyreek Hill, Tua should have been paid. I've been saying this all off season. I know we've got a great front office with Chris Greer and Brandon Shore, and they're going to get it done. Obviously, a lot of people are comparing the Jared Goff situation and stuff like that. But I mean, I feel like Tua is supposed to be up there with some of those guys and pass some of those guys, end quote. I love that you got your quarterbacks back. I do. Jared Goff's been to a Super Bowl and 2 NFC championship games and just took the kind of turned around a franchise. Tua put up really, really, really nice numbers, and they put 70 points up on the. You remember when they put 70 on the Broncos?
I do.
Yeah, they put 70 on the Broncos. And Tua should probably take Tyreek Hill out for dinner and say thank you and I appreciate you, but Tua's not. I just see no scenario where Tua's getting paid in this offseason. Do you?
I don't. I think it's one where you like the quarterback, but you're struggling getting on the same page of where you slot him. Like right now, to me, Tua would be in the top 10.
Okay.
Like at 10th.
Okay.
Just for contracts when we're looking at guarantees, but it's not a contract in which you're approaching Jared Goff money. At some point in time, Miami, and you look at the system and they up Jalen Waddle. I think Tyreek Hill is going to probably get like a Christian McCaffrey type of restructure. He's 30 years old.
Yep.
Still ridiculously explosive. Has 2 years left on his deal. But maybe they just pump a few more guarantees in it just to make him happy over the next few years to try to get out of him wanting a contract every single year. Because I think when you look at Tua, you see good quarterback, but you definitely see, all right, if Tyreek Hill isn't there, can he be the leading passer in the NFL?
Well, I
don't feel that way.
They're in that position that you talk about all the time. All right, fine. He's not Patrick Mahomes, but what's your option? And I tell you all the time, if you are going to make a move, you better have a plan, right? You can't just say we're done with him and we're going to go furry out into the great unknown and hope we land a free agent because it's Miami and it's beautiful and the women are hot and we got some money to spend. I think you'd better have a plan. And so who is it that's better than Tua? And I think
he's also in a position to where, he could end up being franchise tag.
He could be 100%.
A year or two.
That's right.
Where, you're guaranteeing him a big chunk of money, but is it better to have, 2 years of, you got, I don't know what a franchise tag at that point is going to be, 40, 45 million
somewhere probably
on the books as opposed to 120 million guaranteed to this quarterback.
Yeah, I think there's a real good chance of that. I think there's still this perception, and I don't think it's unfair, of 2 seasons ago, Tua getting thrown around like a rag doll and getting concussed a lot, and now he played all last season, didn't he?
He did,
right?
But he's got to show as well he can beat Josh Allen in the Bills in that division.
He's got to show that they got to get out of the first round of the playoffs. Yeah, They didn't beat Josh Allen. They had an opportunity. If they'd have won the last game of the year, they wouldn't have had to go to Kansas City in 700 below zero, whatever cold it was, and shrivel. They would have got a home if they would have beat the Bills last game of the year. They would have got a home game against the Bills in the first round of the playoffs. Yeah, and they didn't. And I think that's what's sitting in the craw of the front office in Miami. I think that's what Miami fans are thinking about. I think that's what everybody's remembering is, you know what, dude? You have these opportunities, and you didn't get it done. That's what gets you paid. That's what gets quarterback. That's why Jared Goff got it. Jared Goff turned the franchise around. They won a division championship and got to the NFC championship game, and damn near got to the Super Bowl. That's why Jared Goff got paid. But you talk, JJ, about is the wide receiver bubble going to burst? Tyreek Hill has wanted a new deal evidently since 2 seasons ago, right? That's when A.J. Brown signed a new deal. Justin Jefferson's now got his deal. And Tyreek is due to make almost $20 million this year. His real average is $25 million. He's getting paid. The $30 million number comes from an unrealistic $45 million compensation package back in 2026. And now Jalen Waddle, his running mate, is making $28.25 million per year in new money. And the top of the market's $35 million for Justin Jefferson. You asked a question on here, and I think this is getting to be realistic. And I think kind of Minnesota have this decision. Is it going to be Tyreek or Tua? Can it be both? And I think in a normal situation, the answer is easy. It's the quarterback. If you firmly believe in that quarterback. Now, Tyreek Hill is one of the top 3 receivers in the National Football League. He is. For how long? Probably another couple of years. Is Tua Tagovailoa worth, if you just said you got a top 10 quarterback, okay? It's hard to find one. Is that worth holding on to and maybe losing Tyreek Hill? You still have Jalen Waddle. You still have other weapons there. They're not losing him this year. I mean, he's going to play. Now, if he doesn't get his contract, he'll be unhappy. But where do you go? Because I think your point's right. I think it's close to bust. They brought in Odell Beckham. When does that bubble burst? There's just not enough money.
It's a team to really look at in this is going to be Philadelphia over the next couple of seasons because Jalen Hurts' gigantic extension kicks in. They have A.J. Brown on a large contract. They extended Devontae Smith. And so it all sounds good, but then you still have to have an offensive line to protect that quarterback. You still have to play defense in the NFL, and that's going to be the challenge, is when you're paying more than one wide receiver. And how does the rest play out? Because it seems pretty simple when you look at it is, all right, at least identify who that 1A is if you have one of those guys. And we're seeing that in Minnesota. We're going to see it in Cincinnati. It's the reason why T. Higgins is probably going to move on after this year when he plays on the franchise tag, seeing what's happening in San Francisco. But how do you have a competitive team when you have multiple skill position players plus a quarterback on big deals? Yeah.
So I guess for this year, Jalen Waddle only counts for a little over $9 million. Is that what you see? Tyreek Hill's $31 million as far as cap hit this year, and Tua at 23. So this is going to be interesting, and then it kind of goes back to the Cowboys. Who's going to get paid? You got CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, and Dak Prescott. JJ, I got to believe Prescott's the third guy on that list in order of getting paid. What's your priority? You're Jerry Jones. Who do I take care of first? I got one of the best defensive players in the league. I got one of the best wide receivers in the league. I got a good quarterback.
I think the fact that they don't have the quarterback figured out.
Yeah.
Because, Dak Prescott's in that area of, well, this guy's good. He's going to win you games, but he doesn't have the postseason you can hang your hat on and go, this is why we're investing in him. And so to me, it would be CeeDee Lamb would be number one.
Okay.
Because you're saying that there might be a turnover at the quarterback position. So you have, lock in a marquee weapon. Michael Parsons 2 and Dak Prescott's 3.
I think I agree with you. It's hard for me not to say Micah Parsons at 1, but you got to figure something out and have some stability on offense. They don't have any stability. You don't know what quarterback's going to be. Look, there's a ton of talk that Dak's going to walk after this year if they don't sign him, and there's a lot of Cowboy fans who's fine with it. I think that's where this thing is starting to lean. That he's not getting a contract going into this season. That it's a show me year for Dak Prescott, and the Cowboys might be willing to let him go. And if that's the case, again, I don't know what their plan is. I'd like to believe they've got one, but at least then you've got some stability at receiver for whoever's coming in. I think I agree with you. I think the priority is Lamb, Parsons, and then Dak, and I don't think Dak gets taken care of. At least not in this offseason. And then he can go free agent, and there will be no hometown discount if you made him wait out his contract, right? And everybody, and this is where I start to scratch my head, and I know you always reel me back in on this. Everybody I listen to says Dak's going to make north of $60 million average per year. That he's that guy. And I think a lot depends on what happens this year. If he has another Dak Prescott year, finishes top 5 in passing, is in the MVP conversation until week 13, and then they lose in the first round of the playoffs again.
So, it's easy to pin it on him.
Fair enough. He was horrible in the playoffs.
Yeah. Okay. So was that defense. So why
they gave up 50-something points.
I think it's a prove it year for Micah Parsons. Everyone talks about him as being.
I think that's a really good point.
This special player, and I think he's really good, but I don't see him wrecking games like T.J. Watt or Myles Garrett.
I think that's a great point.
And he's out there telling you right now that he's undersized, and so he has to. That's why he's resting his body, which is fair because he said it. The best ability is availability.
Okay.
But to me, I think when you look at why would someone want Dak Prescott, it's the same thing why a team would be really excited to sign Kirk Cousins.
I didn't say why would a team want Dak Prescott. I said I'm not sure I would pay him $60 million a year.
Oh, it doesn't matter,
doesn't it?
It's what
we're just talking about how much you can spread out everywhere else.
But that yearly average means nothing.
It's what is your cap hit? So your cap hits at some point it hits, doesn't it? At some point it hits your cap.
But it's you can keep these players happy with the guarantees.
Yeah, and that's where the hocus pocus to me. At some point, I'm staring at like an active roster cap, right? And I don't even understand it because here's your base and here's your dead cap and here's your cap hit and here's your cap hit percentage.
That's why they actually have trained people behind the scenes that are.
Yeah, no, I'm hardly trained on this.
Either am I.
But where does the money go? And okay, I get like $88 million the other day for Justin Jefferson, right? But how much hits when, you know what I'm saying? Like where does that money hit the cap? How do they make that disappear?
Well, and it's a challenge because it's one too. Like, are you gonna all of a sudden feel different now? When in a year or two you have to make harder decisions when you have a quarterback that's making a lot of money, we'll find out.
Yeah, you got to make hard decisions every day.
Like, yeah, it's part of the game. Like, you have to pay. Sometimes you're going to pay a good quarterback, and you keep your fingers crossed that you get more out of it. And I do think that in the offseason, if Dallas does not extend Dak, I think it's a fascinating situation because then you start playing, this or that with Dak. And to your point, there's going to be a team that sees that and goes, yes, this is the difference maker for us.
It's going to be interesting. All right, 505-246-0610. Come on in today, 888-922-0610 if you're still paying a toll. Emails, Jeff@sportsanimalabq.com, JJ@sportsanimalabq.com. When we come back, one of the best local high school players has decided where he's going to go play football. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This message.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Try this shit better than all my intentions. Like me, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place.
Decided where he's going to school. He was on with Van Tate yesterday, announcing it live on TV. Taking his talents to Tempe, Arizona, going to be a Sun Devil, where he will be a wide receiver in college, who's looking at Houston, it's UT San Antonio, and UTEP, amongst others. And the Gatorade Player of the Year, who's got a senior year to play at La Cueva. He's going to then graduate early and head over to Tempe. He's going to Arizona State. Hines Ward is the receivers coach there. Kenny Dillingham's the new head coach. And he said, if I got to give up playing quarterback and help reach my dream of being in the NFL, I'm good with that. And good for him. And he's going to the Big 12. And nice move for him. Close by. Family could see him. And it's hard to argue it.
Yeah, you love to see it. It's one that, shows there's talent in state. It's still a battle, I think, for a lot of people in terms of how do you continue to get eyes in the state of New Mexico versus the numbers that are out there, level of competition, but you can get to the next level to be a Division I athlete. It's good to see as of now, too. Like, going to stay and play at La Cueva, so it's great for the Bears and that team, because this is that time, too, where a lot of players, girls or boys, going in their senior season, if they're getting recruited, they want to get recruited differently. They're going to prep schools or they're going out of state. I think
a lot of the what's going on, I think you're right on just getting the exposure. A lot of it is the high school athlete being recruited, right? When you look at so much of the recruiting that's going on, it's in the portal. It's, look at what New Mexico did, how they recruited football-wise, how many guys are transfers from whether it's junior college or from other Division I or, FBS schools, right? As far as, I think one of the things that's gotten lost in all the talk about the portal stuff is how high school athletes are being recruited. How do you get that first one? And so I think that's really cool for him. And I think he's got a great opportunity. Another La Cueva athlete, basketball player, Dylan Chavez, the 6'5" guard, is going to play at UNM. He is going to be a walk-on. UNM starts workouts today. In fact, Richard Pitino is going to meet with me. Are you headed over there today?
Heading over to practice.
Yeah, that's right. Because I know they're meeting the media during our show. And we'll try to get Richard on at some point here in the next few days. But this is a young man who averaged 15 points a game and got the Bears to the semifinals of the 5A state tournament. He played Albuquerque's basketball club, the ABC, his junior year for ABC Prep, 19 points. And this is good to see. We've had a number of players over the year. Dumas Sanchez was there. Mac Manzanares was there the year prior. Dylan Chavez now goes over there. And along with Daraje. And I talked to a lot of people about Daraje, who played at Sandia and then was it North Alabama, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure that's right. Daraje Agbaose, and he's 6'7", and there's a lot of athleticism in there. And people think, there's some who think he can play, some think he's a little raw. It's going to be tough to get on the floor with the team they recruited. But that's another young man who played locally, and I just like seeing a few guys get a chance, and if they can get some minutes, I think that's great.
I agree. There's not much more spin put on that.
No, that's where we are. So that's some local guys. I'm interested in seeing I don't know what you can see from watching a first early practice. And you're probably going to need a program to say, okay, which one's which now, which one's the tiki, but you'll know, right? I think you'll know. Kind of the journey starts now, huh? Richard's got his roster together.
It's too early, man.
Oh, that's right. Why are they working
out?
About
practice. Not a game. Practice.
Yeah, they should be sleeping and getting massages. I forgot about that. I am looking forward to it and seeing what they've got. Lobo Hobo says Louisville basketball finally, quote, acceptable company. Jeff, there were a million excuses around here during the Bliss Dabalos era. One of them was big boys won't play us. Dave Bliss used to say they only schedule acceptable company. But with the beefed up slate, Louisville basketball is finally there. I guess if we're going on that. Look, you've got to get your program to a place where, and it's hard to do. And I think UNM and Richard Pitino paid their dues the last 3 years. UCLA or St. John's or whoever it is you want to play, it makes no sense for them to schedule in New Mexico if New Mexico is, ninth and scuffling and also ran in the Mountain West. Now you're going to tell me, Jeff, they've been sixth the last couple of years, and you're not wrong. They also went to the NCAA tournament, and they were ranked last year. But every program, their net ranking was, 24 by the end of the year, 26? A UCLA, a VCU, pick it. Whoever it is you want to play, Arizona State. If they get beat by you and you're 187th, it hurts their net ranking, and there's no reason for them to want to play you. If they beat you, it's good. If they lose and you're 28th, it doesn't kill them and you move on. And you had to get your program to that point. I think that's what the last couple of years have been about, JJ. There is more acceptable company, as this says. Fine. If that's how you want to put it, yeah. Yeah, there's got to be a reason for them to play you, and you got to take away the reasons for them to not play you. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And scheduling is also different, to where you have MTEs that are huge, that get you those opportunities, that teams are more willing to play those neutral site games.
Yeah.
UCLA game's a neutral site contest. Mm-hmm. So you take those opportunities, try to find home and homes with mid-major opponents, where you can get enough of the fan base excited and go from there. And I think use your connections. Your dad is the head coach of St. John's. Get him on the schedule, just like Iona was on the schedule.
100%.
And overall, I think the approach to how they built the team, the results on the floor versus then the schedule, it's been exactly what you want, because the questions going into last year, defense getting bigger inside. Well, they worked on that. Oh, no, we just heard the schedule wasn't good. All right, you worked on that. You're checking all the boxes.
And it takes time. Did you see Doug Gottlieb is the new head coach at Green Bay?
Head coach and radio host.
Still doing a show. Did you see who his first games against?
Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State. He uses connections. It's his alma mater. He called his people and said, "Let's play. We'll come down there." I mean, there's absolutely use connections. That's why you have them. I mean, you know me well enough, right? I mean, use your damn connections. And if your dad's the head coach of St. John's, you got a game in Madison Square Garden because of it, fine. Go do it. And by the way, you got a chance to go really make some noise there. So, yeah, to the point on the acceptable company, yeah, I think you're finally there. It's hard to get someone in the pit. But if you're going to have to go play a neutral game in Vegas against UCLA, a neutral site game against Arizona State, and then maybe USC, it'll be USC or St. Mary's in the next game, right? Either way, you kind of get a win there. It's Eric Musselman and what they're doing at USC. St. Mary's was, a 5 seed or a 6 seed last year? 5 or a 6 seed. They were one of those. Yes. And that's why I keep telling you, I think Richard's done a great job of identifying what needs to be rectified in the offseason. And it seems like in the last couple of years, he's rectified what he needs to take care of. And, whether it was defense last year, he's got holes to fill on a roster, your schedule, you should be excited. And they open up workouts today, and you're going to get to hear a whole lot. Richard Petito's going to talk today. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Staple.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Tomorrow, at least NBA hoops. You had WNBA over the last few nights. Tomorrow night, you get the Mavericks and the Celtics, game one. Lakers may have a coach. All indications are pointing to LeBron James' podcast partner, JJ Redick. LeBron and JJ put out another version of Mind the Game, their podcast yesterday. LeBron talked a lot about Kyrie Irving. Were you surprised? And I'm going to give you what LeBron said. Were you surprised how just he came out and called Kyrie the greatest talent the game has ever seen?
No.
I kind of was.
Because it's like when we use fillers in the moment.
Okay.
Like they won a championship together. Kyrie's really good. He's not the greatest talent,
Right.
but he still think is the best under the rim finisher in the NBA.
He's very good. Yeah, especially with the offhand. Quote LeBron yesterday, "I'm so bleeping happy and so proud to watch him continue his growth. I'm so bleeping mad at the same time that I'm not his running mate anymore. I just remember those times." End quote. Didn't LeBron kind of orchestrate a trade where he tried to trade him, and then Kyrie got wind of it and got pissed and wanted out and demanded a trade from Cleveland? Isn't that how that went down? There was some sort of a trade that was rumored and evidently close, and LeBron was in the middle of everything because he's LeBron and he's in the middle of everything.
No.
And no,
It was the other way around.
What?
That was when Kyrie was like, "It ain't like I'm not Robin like this. I'm gonna be
wasn't
Batman."
was that brought on by there was some sort of a trade rumor that upset young Kyrie at that point? I'm
Not that I
fairly
remember.
certain that's how that was. It's interesting because it wasn't an amicable breakup between those two. Remember?
It was young Kyrie.
Yeah, and young LeBron.
Not at that point in time.
Who was he?
2017.
He was middle-aged LeBron.
After he'd been in the NBA for over 10 years.
Came in at 18. I mean, when I don't know what is young 20. What's the young cutoff?
That was
Okay.
after Miami Heat, the Heatles
Yeah.
championships.
So veteran
finals,
LeBron.
yeah.
All right. Okay.
Molded with Dwayne Wade and that crew in Miami. No, that was pretty much all. Just Kyrie was. It's about me, not him. Let me go do my things.
Is he trying to bring
And
Kyrie
then
back?
he goes to Boston, and then Kyrie Irving told the world on Monday, which it's amazing. He's like, "Yeah, I was not the best version of myself. It was bad." And the dude learned.
Tell you all the time about maturing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, people grow up.
Well, he's been it's been over the last year. LeBron has been talking about reuniting with Kyrie.
Well, he
Irving.
tried to get him there in the offseason. The version of Kyrie Irving that we've seen this year has been a different, mature, seemingly focused basketball version of Kyrie Irving. You haven't heard one flat earth thing. You haven't heard anything about vaccination. Now, granted, there's no vaccination talk. But, I mean, everything about Kyrie over the last, I don't know, since 2018, 17, has been off the court. How it didn't work in Boston, how it didn't work wherever he was.
Boston, Brooklyn.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nothing, it was never about how basketball. And then Kyrie Irving, evidently, and that's why I give Jason Kidd so much credit. Because, to your point, when he was in Cleveland, he was, I'm not a Robin, right? Wouldn't you say the Batman of this team is Luka Doncic?
Yes, it is.
Now, whether you think it's a really close 1A and 1B, or if it's 1 and 2 or A and B, Luka Doncic is the alpha here, although there's two alphas. But he's accepted his role, he's matured, he's grown up, whatever it is. I don't know him.
You see a dude that he was going through a lot of stuff, and he's talked about that, and he let it affect his attitude on the basketball court and the way he thought about the game of basketball. And even when you're an elite player, because Kyrie Irving has elite talent in this league, you're not doing it by yourself. I think Kyrie's experience in Boston, as bad as it was in Brooklyn, and then just maturing as a person, the way he's talked, and you listen to him talk about it, and he's acknowledged, like, it was bad in Boston. He's not making any excuses. He said, yeah, there was a lot of stuff going on. I didn't handle it well. And that's what you want to hear from people.
100%.
Like, yeah, we've all gone through those times. You hope you mature and you get better. And it's been an unbelievable partnership that many people did not think was going to work.
I have a whole lot of respect for people who can outwardly say, man, I wasn't good. I've got to be better. I made mistakes. However, whatever it is, however you want to say it. Man, I didn't handle that situation well. And think the first step, and I'm not breaking any ground here, in changing behavior is recognizing that behavior needs to be changed, right? Whatever it is. I mean, whether it's an addiction, whatever it is. And I got ultimate respect. I honestly come around. I've changed on it. I didn't like Kyrie. I didn't like the antics. I just, it was all about him. Look at me. And I appreciate it now. I really do. But LeBron called him the most gifted player the NBA has ever seen. And I know when just someone says that, it's like whatever. But when LeBron says it, everything's calculated. And it wasn't like just in a press conference. It was in his podcast. It was thought through. Like, wow, where's he going with this? And I think he'd love to have Kyrie back and have him with the Lakers. 505-246-0610. That's how to get here today. 505-246-0610. Who else got paid? How bad was it in Boston? Kyrie talks about that. JJ just alluded to it a little bit. How bad was it? He'll tell you. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Center.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Like me, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. but it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
You got a lot of storylines surrounding the Mavericks and Celtics. Looks like Kristaps Porzingis will play. He said yesterday, rather coyly, and that his plan is to play against his former team, the Dallas Mavericks. Kyrie Irving certainly will play against his former team, the Boston Celtics. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. So Kyrie is JJ vocal leader, certainly, right? Even if Luka's the kind of the number one, but this is the vocal leader of this team. He played 2 seasons for the Celtics, left in free agency. He joined Kevin Durant, right, with the Nets, and then you know the whole story. He got sidelined by the injury for the entire postseason in 2018. And here he is. He'll say last time in Boston, I don't think was the best. Not this regular season, but when we played in the playoffs and everyone saw me flip off birds and kind of lose my bleep a little bit. And that wasn't a great reflection of who I am and how I like to compete on a high level. It wasn't a great reflection on my end towards the next generation, on what it means to control your emotions in that type of environment, no matter what people are yelling at you. I know sometimes in sports, it's literally about the end goal and result and what you accomplish, and that's one thing. But we're still human. At the end of the day, I wasn't my best self during that time. End quote. That's Kyrie Irving. This is what we were just talking about, and he said it. It almost feels like a cleansing. And I told you this the other day. I kind of feel he's the difference in this series. I think I'm kind of leaning a little bit towards the Mavericks, even with Porzingis. I know Porzingis is a piece if he plays well. But Kyrie Irving to me, and this is everything we talked about, was what LeBron said a little bit, but I thought this before that. If he plays, and there's no reason to...
Well, there's no reason to not think that the guy that's won an NBA championship, that is playing at a high level, shouldn't be a difference making in the series. You could argue he's the second best player in the series. You could have a legit argument of Kyrie Irving versus Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, I think it's an absolutely fair conversation.
And if you're looking to put some money on someone that you can make money off of,
2,400?
It was plus 2,400 the other day.
Yeah.
Be NBA Finals MVP. And you know Luka is going to put up the numbers, and that's going to be the challenge. If they win and Luka's going to have
who's going to hit the big shots.
3 triple-doubles type of deal.
Yeah.
But it's, Kyrie, scoring-wise, has matched him. Now, the difference is usually look at assists and rebounds with Luka. But I do think this is fascinating because the Celtics, and you look at Drew Holiday and Derek White, the rotation now, you have those 4 guys that you can throw at Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving on the other end defensively too, to mix and match. It's not all just on one. Holiday, there's a reason people say he's the best defender in the league, and players talk about him being a menace. He's going to have his hands full, but that's what Boston needs in this series. And I think for Kyrie too, this is the perfect place to be because it's going to suck going back to Boston. Like, he is going to hear, like he always does, the worst thing said about him and his family. But it sounds like now he's in the right headspace. Just go ball.
Says the right thing, certainly. And it almost feels like a cleansing. It almost feels like it's therapeutic for him. And I know this is going way too deep, and who the hell am I, dime store therapist? But when I listen to this, it almost sounds therapeutic that he's getting all this out and saying these things. Yeah, I wasn't good. That wasn't the best me. I didn't handle it well. No matter what's being said to you, you got to be like all these things. What you would say on the couch, right? And I'm sure it took a while to get there to realize that. My money's on him, I think. I'm a Kyrie believer in this. Whether the earth is flat or it's not, I'm kind of a Kyrie believer on this. And I look at this series and think, okay.
Yeah, the track record's long enough.
Right?
With Kyrie to trust Kyrie Irving.
Where are you, Jim? You picked you on Dallas?
Boston.
Short series, long series, what do you think?
6 or 7. Like, it's long. 6, maybe a long
4
series.
and 5 is short, 6 and 7 is long. That's the definition. Yeah. Okay. All right. Why Boston? You just think they're too deep?
I do. I do.
Yeah, that's
because
fair.
even if Kristaps Porzingis isn't playing, I think that's still a challenge. But Al Horford's a solid center. I think it's going to be tough against the athleticism at times of Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford. But I'm really excited to see what kind of overall impact Jason Tatum has on this series, because
who guards Luka?
It's not. Oh, it's going to be. I think it's going to be Holiday
and Brown.
Some Brown. Like, I think you
Holiday,
have to rotate it.
I want Holiday on Kyrie. I really do. I want him on the ball.
The ball's
always in Luka's hands.
But I want throw a different look. I want the length. I want the strength. The Holiday. I want some Brown there. Like, I'm Mazzulla. I'm throwing everything out there because you know all what Dallas is going to do. Just pick and roll all games.
Okay.
They're going to get those switches.
And Derek White's the other one, who I think plays a wild card for Boston, right? Because you say Tatum, Brown, Porzingis, Drew Holiday. Derek White's been really good in playoffs, and a guy that doesn't get the love. I think he plays. I think he's a good defender, and he'll hit you big shots. You're right. Look, Boston's really deep, and Boston's been the best team all year. There's no reason to not think Boston will win this. And where did Dallas come from? A 5 seed, but yeah, they were a 5 seed, but they made some moves at the trade deadline.
They're 5 seed.
They're different.
When we're sitting here just talking about how awesome the Western Conference is.
But I think they were a different team at the trade deadline that made themselves a whole lot better than a 5 seed.
Like a 50-win team.
Yeah.
That's a 5 seed.
Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy. Any other storylines that you're looking at that you love coming through this? I mean, the Porzingis one is interesting to me. Obviously, the Kyrie one, going back. What about Jason Tatum? The narrative that the Celtics have to win.
Yeah, I guess who'd feel they don't have to win.
Right. When you get here, we always have this conversation. Who's got the most to win or lose? Dude, you're in the final. You're in the Super Bowl. You're in the World Series. Like, this is, you don't, all the work to get there. Yeah, this is legacy making.
I'm really interested in Tatum because
yes,
he's the first. He's been first team All NBA, but people don't talk about him like that. People go, I don't trust this guy. I don't know if this guy has it, and I just want to see his overall impact on the game, because I think what this could do is this is a series. I think Luka, regardless, is there now, but could ignite who wins in the next 2 or 3 MVPs. So I think there's going to be a quick correction, and it's going to be Luka Doncic that is going to take that Nikola Jokic role.
He may.
And just be getting all the MVPs next.
Yeah, he very well may. If he continues to play like this, and now that he's on this stage and people have realized it. Look, it took Jokic winning a championship for many, and I don't know if it's the majority, but I wouldn't argue against it, to realize how damn good Jokic is. He played out there in the mountains in that time zone on a team that wasn't marquee, with a awkward, different-looking game, and it took a long damn time for people to accept that he was that good. It took him winning a championship, right? And in the year that he didn't win the MVP, if I'm not mistaken, correct? That was last year when they won, it was Embiid. And I wonder if Luka's kind of the same. You put somebody on this stage, not the stage prior to this, not one round behind this, not in the conference championship, but you put them in the finals. And all of a sudden, you're the guy who got him there. And you can't deny the respect. And if Luka plays like Luka's been playing, and by the way, he's injured, but I think everybody's hurt. If he continues to play like this, I think you're right, man. I think they go on some sort of, or he does, some sort of a crazy MVP run. Because who's next? Wembanyama? I mean, are we waiting for, Wembanyama to become that level and it's going to be Luka for a couple of years and then Wemby? I mean, I think Jokic is still in the mix. And I know you're a little dismissive because you're upset about your team, and I don't blame you. I still think Jokic is still in the mix as best player in the world.
I never said he wasn't.
No, I know you did.
I still think he's top 5.
I think he's also going to be in the mix for MVP a lot.
I don't think
there may be you don't think he wins another? You don't think he's in the mix? You think it's just fatigue on it?
Yeah, correct. Like, we've given him 3. And he's only won 1 championship, so now it's time to
vote for someone else.
Vote for Jason Tatum or Luka Doncic.
Yeah, I think that because it's a human factor. All right, 505-246-0610. Remember the Jonte Porter story? Michael Porter Jr.'s brother, who was banned from the NBA after he bet on his own team to lose. Well, there's another guy, there's an accomplice in that one, betting scandals. And we got another WNBA story off the court. One of the, that hot rookie, she had 2 more technical fouls yesterday and got thrown out of the, not that one? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Hour.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America has powerful...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom. Boom.
Young driver, this one. Hard to.
Bruce sent me an email. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com says, NBA hot take. Jeff, I don't care who wins. But can we get the show on the road? It's June. The season should be over by now. I mean, I don't know. It'll start on June 6th. So maybe be over by the end of June, I guess. Get hoops. What are you going to watch? I mean, you going to watch the WNBA? You going to watch the baseball? You going to watch the soccer? What are you going to watch? Yeah, it's taken a minute. It has. And it's because the two conference finals were so short, 4 and 5 games. And the TV windows were set. And, I mean, I know it seems easy for you and me to say, well, then just play it, 4 days later, but the TV schedules are set.
Well, there's travel schedules.
And there's
hotel schedules.
Yeah, all that. Yep, all that's right. All right, 505-246-0677.
But let's speed all this up so we can get to our July list of just ranking radio.
We're going to do list radio in
yes,
July?
just list all day, every day.
What
this guy should be the 8th highest paid quarterback. This is going to be the 4th best receiver in the NFL. This is my 3rd best rookie running back. I have you covered for everything.
So I might use a bunch of my vacation time list radio. Is that all right?
I can run this and host a show. Give it a try.
We're going to find out. I'm promising you that, dude. We're going to find that out. I remember the Jonte Porter story. Jonte Porter is the former Raptors player who was banned from the NBA after he bet on his own team to lose. By the way, my favorite part about the baseball story yesterday, the what's the Padres guy name? The guy that just got banned. Come on, help me. Mercado. Lupita, what's his first name? Tucupita. Mercado. Is that he lost 95.3% of his bets. That, like my favorite part of that story is not only are you, and we talked about this yesterday.
It doesn't matter who you are, you don't win.
You win more than 4.7%, don't
does?
you? Dude, I'm going to guess almost everybody who bets wins more than 4.7%.
They might say that.
4.7%?
There's a reason
Those places are there. Those are big businesses.
that states are like, yeah, we're going to make a lot of money off this. We're going to tax it. We're going to make this legal. Sports books are around.
4.7%.
Because the majority of people are winning 4.7% of the time.
What did I hit in the NFL last year? Like almost 59, 61%, something like that. But in our three for alls.
And I bet if you put money on it,
I would have
won 4.7%.
No way, 4.7%. Now, I guess if you're just betting parlays, you hit 4 out of every 100.
The odds are so small.
Yeah, on parlays, they're really against you, and people love the parlays. People just end it
because you get enticed. You're like, wait, I can bet these 3 things,
and I know this is going to happen. I know,
of course.
All right, so Jonte bet on his team to lose, and allegedly here's what happened here, and I don't know if we ever really got into the whole story, but he amassed large debts, Jonte Porter. And so to clear those debts, he was encouraged by the people to whom he owed owed the money, to withdraw from certain games prematurely to make sure bets on his performance were successful. Remember, people were betting the under. Large amounts of money were coming in on unders on Jontay Porter individual bets, under 5.5 points. Will he make 2.5 3-pointers tonight? That kind of stuff. So federal prosecutors in Brooklyn arrested this guy yesterday at the airport. It sounds like a movie. The guy's name was Long Bai Pham. And this Pham guy, they call him Bruce. Knowing that Porter...
What's your name? Bruce.
Bruce. Knowing that Porter planned to withdraw from the game, placed bets on his performance for a matchup against the Clippers in January. And before that game, prosecutors said that Porter told Bruce that he would exit early in the contest, claiming he was injured. And a result of that, Bruce won over $40,000. Okay? Or another co-conspirator. So Bruce was arrested. He's a 38-year-old guy. Was arrested at JFK Airport yesterday in New York, boarding a flight to Australia on a one-way ticket. I mean, it's a movie, isn't it?
It is a movie.
The criminal complaint says he was ordered detained pending trial on charge of conspiring to defraud a sports betting company. So there are 3 unnamed co-conspirators charged in this scheme. They remain at large. Not clear whether Porter is under investigation any further in this criminal case. Remember, Porter's 24 years old. He's lost his basketball career. Now he may be a co-conspirator in a criminal case. Bruce and his co-conspirators netted over $1 million in profit overall, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office. This is U.S. Attorney Brian Peace. He said, whether on the court or in the casino, every point matters. As alleged, the defendant and his co-conspirators, as well as an NBA player, which, I mean, this puts him right in the middle of it, participated in a brazen illegal betting scheme that had a corrupting influence on 2 games and numerous bets. This prosecution serves as a warning that fraud and dishonesty in professional sports will not be tolerated, and those who engage in this flagrant flouting of the law will be prosecuted, end quote. There was another game in March that these co-conspirators and Bruce discussed in a Telegram group. There was a group chat that Porter would again exit early, that he felt ill, and they made money there. These leagues are on a tipping point. I listened to a lot of commentary on this yesterday. And I don't know where it ends, but everybody's saying, look, man, you all think you're smarter than the system. You all think you got burner phones and you got a guy who's going to place your bet, and we are on to you, and we will catch you, and if it's illegal, we're going to prosecute you. I mean, it's one thing to lose your career. And Jontay Porter is 24 years old and worked his ass off to get to the NBA and will never play in the NBA again.
Now he might not get to play basketball for a while.
Well,
anywhere.
It'd be another thing to be locked up.
Yeah.
I mean, to get in your meals behind bars. To sleeping on a bunk bed with a roommate named Bubba.
Yeah, it's one thing to be like, well, I guess I'll go play in Belize or...
Right, I can go play overseas somewhere.
Find a league to go play.
Right.
And now it's like, well, you might not be doing anything for a few years.
You might be in prison.
You might be on the prison league team.
Yeah, you'll be a star there, dude. And you can bet on those games probably in prison. Yeah. Probably encouraged. But it's like what baseball did yesterday with their deal with Tucupita Marcano. Banned for life, Manfred said. And again, you look at the bets. Some of these guys that got the
it's never worth it.
Never.
The money's not there. I think what it tells you everything about, like, when you get into that world and you get in that deep, and Bruce, the guy that was arrested at the airport.
Yeah.
So they're like, all right, $12,000 in cash, 2 cashier's checks, about $80,000 there, and betting slips on him.
When he got arrested yesterday?
Yeah. So it's like, it's just like you can't.
I mean, betting slips aren't illegal, are they?
No, but you're running to a different country.
Yep. One-way ticket.
Yep. And you're just, let me make sure I get this in before I'm in Australia.
No doubt.
Like, It's like the movie Hidden Gems. Like you're addicted to everything.
So addictions are real. You know, I never enjoyed smoking cigarettes. I'm really glad I didn't, because I look at that and that must be just the most gnarly addiction ever, right? Those of you who smoke or have smoked, I mean, I've watched people try to quit. My dad, my dad died at 63 years old, smoked Pall Mall Reds, the filterless cigarettes, since he was 14 years old. And I remember after his first heart attack, he was so proud of himself that he stopped smoking those that he went to the filtered cigarettes, right? And then, days before he died, Jeffrey, I quit smoking. Nice, pal. And I watched that, and I've watched so many friends, and we all have. That addiction must be as gnarly as there is. But I think any addiction, right? If you're addicted to gambling and you get that thing going, whether it's a drug, whether it's a habit, whatever it is, and it overtakes you, I don't know if it's an addiction or if it's just. JC, I firmly believe a lot of these guys might not even be addicted; they enjoy it, and just figure I'm smarter than the system. I'm never going to get caught, or I'm just Tucupita Mercano. They don't give a damn about me. I played 169 games or whatever the number is, 147 games in the big leagues. They don't care about me. I'm going to, I'm under the radar. Don't you think that's a big part of it? A lot of these guys just
You're
probably
the
enjoy
person
it.
that's never going to get caught.
Yes. Yeah. It's like the guy who drinks and drives, right? And says, well, I'm not going to get caught. I've done it how many times? Ooh, you got caught. I mean, I don't think it's that different. At some point, your time comes up. I love that the leagues are setting, and I think this is vitally important. For you and me who love watching the games, for you and I who play fantasy football, for you who bets a random game, legally, I think what these leagues are doing is vital. Because they have nothing if they do not have the integrity of their game. And the integrity of their games mean that you go out and you go to a ball game or you watch a game and you honestly believe that these games are being honestly played, that the outcome is not being determined by anything other than fair, honest play on the field, on the court, on the ice. And you don't have a manager or you don't have a dude who's shaving a couple of points to cover a bet somewhere and you lose by, you end up on bad bets or bad beats. And it costs you $10, $100, $1,000. I think what these leagues are doing, and they need to make it as public as they are, and even more so, and make examples of people. They have to, JJ, because otherwise this thing's spiraling. I don't believe Tucupita Mercano or Jonte Porter are the only guys who have been betting in their game.
No. So how many NFL players last year get hit?
Do you think they got them all?
Not all of them. It's never all of them.
It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Zone.
This message is brought to you by the...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
leave my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Like me, shorty, you got my attention. See you, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following.
bit about leagues coming down on gambling within their game, which I think is essential to save their games. Right? I know that sounds drastic. It's the opening drive, Jefferson Vieta and JJ Buck. But if you don't trust what you're watching is any more than a pre-scripted movie, and I know there's plenty of you who have conspiracy theories, especially about the NFL, who think it's predetermined. What are we doing? 505-246-0610. Wayne, good morning. Thanks for holding. You're on the Sports Animal. What's up?
Hey, good morning. Thanks for taking my call, guys. I think it's really sad because I 100% agree that there's a lot of conspiracy. There's tons of videos out there you see of games that are currently fixed, especially in the NFL. Then you got the story with the whole NBA refs fixing games. You got stories about college kids fixing games in basketball, and then now you're seeing stories like this. I think it's definitely become an epidemic. I think it's no different than we questioned a lot of people doing steroids, and more stories came out that actually was true. I think as fans, we definitely have the best interest in mind and thinking that they're all being fair. But when you're constantly hearing stories like this, I mean, this is just what came out. Like, you don't know what actually is other stuff that's going on in the background that we don't even know about that haven't come out. And I think it's kind of sad as a sports fan and a sports listener and you guys hosting sports that there's probably a lot more than actually that's coming out. We're just hearing what actually people get in trouble with. We're not seeing what else is going on. I mean, we're constantly hearing about players betting on games that are getting fired and stuff. But it's kind of sad too because if you see it, most of those games are being supported by DraftKings and everything else. So it's almost being promoted at the same time, and then you're getting mad. It's almost like when cigarettes are sponsoring players, and then you're getting mad that the players are smoking cigarettes. I mean, when it's constantly being exposed to them, and there's so much money involved, then there's unfortunately there's going to be corruption no matter what, and there's going to be things that are going to happen. And I think first time was the first time, shame on you. Second time, shame on me. After a while, we need to start giving people too much of the benefit of the doubt and realize there's more going on than we have, and start just enjoying sports what it is. It's just entertainment and maybe not fair is what we think it is. And it's sad to say, but I'm kind of losing my hope in a lot of sports because I think there's a lot more than what's actually coming out. I just had to get my take on it.
I appreciate you, Wayne, and it's good to hear you. Thank you. So, JJ, do you think the acceptance of sports, of gambling around the games, right? The mainstreaming of sports gambling, MGM, Caesars, FanDuel, DraftKings, all of it, and the influx of money has accelerated. I wonder if it accelerated the concern or accelerated the actual betting within the game. It's certainly easier. It's certainly easier for everybody to do it. In many states, you just do it on your phone. You can sit in your locker room.
Well, it's also allowed them to track it more.
Allowed the leagues.
Yes. Because
Okay.
Because a lot of these bets, not necessarily the Deontay Porter stuff, but the NFL players, it's like, oh, we saw you used, FanDuel, DraftKings Sportsbook from a team facility.
As opposed to just sitting with your bookie in a back room. I don't know that we'll ever know the numbers, the answers, if it's more or less now than it was before. The interesting, and there's a lot of talk about what's perceived as a hypocrisy, that you're telling me that DraftKings and all these betting sites are sponsoring, but they can't bet. And it's money. It's like anything else, man. It's sponsorship money. They're all the players that are benefiting from it because there's a whole lot more going on as far as revenue. Marty, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Marty.
Hey, Jeff. Yeah, you touched on that hypocrisy. It gets thrown at us all the time with MGM Sportsbook, Caesars. We have it here locally. In fact, I'd say New Mexico, we've sort of enjoyed it before a lot of other people did. We don't necessarily have to go all the way to Vegas or go, do it online. So. And, of course, the NFL is big. I think part of the NFL's success is betting. It's the perfect sport to bet on. but yet, you know, when something like this happens, we're like, oh my God, he bet on baseball. How dare he? And he probably shouldn't have bet on his team, being a dumb, you know what. Probably should have just stuck to football or something else. But I just think there is a big hypocrisy to it.
See, but
it's
Marty,
big money, it's big business.
Marty,
but yeah, I was going to say something real quick.
Yeah, let me jump in real quick.
The story to that is we only talk about baseball when something like this happens, and that upsets me.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. But you know, to say hypocrisy is right. Look, it is pounded into their heads. And there's no way to miss Rule 21 in baseball. You cannot bet on baseball. It's got to be logical. And to your point, man, then bet on football, bet on basketball. You cannot bet on diamond sports if you are a Major League Baseball player. It shouldn't be that damn hard, should it?
No, it shouldn't. That's just a lack of poor judgment. I agree there. Yeah, you should know better, and especially betting. You know, if you're betting on your own team, like I think he was with the Pirates. I don't, you know, maybe I don't know the whole story.
Yes,
but yeah, that's just very poor judgment.
Yeah.
But I think it's the other story is we only talk about baseball when bad things happen, and that really frustrates me because I think it's still a beautiful game.
It is.
There's some great players right now that we could really. No, but we get stuck on the same stories. LeBron James, Tom Brady. You know, it's like enough of that already. That's my take on the whole thing.
You get enough Caitlin Clark yet? How about Caitlin Clark?
Caitlin Clark. I'll never watch a game for her ever, honestly, because she doesn't move the meter for me. That's just who I am.
Maybe Angel Reese does for you. All right, man. It's good to hear you. Don't be a stranger. I appreciate. Look, his point's not wrong in the hypocrisy, and it's there. But it's got to be pretty easy, man. If they threw out the hit leader of baseball, and I get it, you're not old enough to remember Pete Rose and what he was. Pete Rose was the epitome of a baseball player. Charlie Hustle, he was the epitome of everything it was supposed to be. He's hit the ball better and more than anybody in the history of that game. They threw him out for his life, dude. He's 80-something years old, signing autographs in a mall in Vegas to make money. They didn't let that dude in, and your name is Mercado. What's Tucupita? What's his name? Right? And you don't think you're going to get caught? Tucupita Mercado? Come on, man. This one, JJ, you said it yesterday. It's the dumbest way to lose your career, and you're dead on right. It's not hard. And if you break this rule, you deserve to get thrown out for life. You just do. 505-246-0610. Keep them coming. Emails are coming in this morning. Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com or JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. Hey, for years I have told you about IPS. They offer standing guards, 24-hour patrols to protect your home or business. They'll even offer personal bodyguards. What you may not know is IPS also installs home alarms. They've been doing it for a few years. They want to remind you if you don't have an alarm, you're way more likely to be a victim of break-in. IPS's technology team also installs video cameras that records criminals who vandalize or steal company and home property. The video will help police in their investigation. Bad guys see it, and it discourages criminal activity. IPS can set up your business with access control. That way, the only people authorized to get into your facility are the only ones who get in. Sign up and have IPS monitor your alarm, monitor your cameras, and when they see something or the alarm goes off, they're there within 7 minutes or less to check it. IPS provides the manpower and technology to protect you, your family, and your property. It's an award-winning combination. 505-897-2420 is the number. 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. Passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better and safer places to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here, and I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space, and you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part,
so that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Trying to squash that sort of a rumor. I mean, there's talk about, Justin Verlander being one of those guys too. Quote from Dana Brown: "I don't see any scenario where we are sellers. I think we're going to be buyers." End quote. I'd like to see where this goes. Over. I know there's a lot of interest around here in Alex. I think his next contract's going to be gigantic. He got off to a really slow start, right? A really slow start. He's found it over the last few weeks. Talked to some people. They really messed with his batting stance and his swing during spring training. And he came out slow, but he's figured it out.
Why? My question would be, Alex Bregman's 30 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He's an established major league player.
Yeah,
it's one thing to tweak things. Why would you let it get to a point where they messed with your swing to the effect where you start so slow?
And I always wonder that, right? And it's like golfers too, right? But they're always tweaking with their swing. They're always trying to get a little bit more power.
The last 2 years for Bregman have been big. Because he went through that stretch of 2020, 2021. He was hurt, wasn't on the field a lot. Batting average has been low. But to bounce back, hit 259, 262 doesn't sound great, but with some pop in the defense.
Well, he's a terrific third baseman. He's a fantastic clutch hitter. I think he's proven that in the postseason. He's got power. He can be a fixture in the middle of your lineup. I think he's established. Like I think his next deal, and JJ, I don't know. You probably know these things better than I. A guy like that's probably going to get a 5-year, $230 million deal in today's market.
It'll be interesting because I think some of the shine's off of Alex of being a superstar, like that type of deal. But he's going to get paid. It's going to be fine.
So what do you think? If let's just say the shine's off, what does that mean, ish?
Because right now you're looking 9 home runs.
Yeah, no, he's had a slow start to the season. Yeah,
it's big numbers. Yeah. I'm not gonna downplay it.
Do you buy that they're going to be buyers at the trade deadline as opposed to sellers? Yeah,
I do,
because of who they think they are and what they, what they become late in the season. All right. When we come back, I'll tell you about that WNBA player, that rookie. Yeah, I know. Got thrown out of the game yesterday. 2 technicals. Not that rookie. Which one? You know her. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here, and I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space, and you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hey, look, it's Dwight Goodman. Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom. Boom!
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here, and I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space, and you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. One of us.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico
for 5 years running.
It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bach.
I can say it out of 9 years, but I mean, 5 years running was right at one. Opening drive, Jeff Sibieta, JJ Buck. What up on a Wednesday? Glad you're here. Number to get in today, play radio with us. Area code 505-246-0610. Area code 505-246-0610. We've been through NFL money stuff and who's getting it, who's not. Cam Dyer, the La Cueva star, going to play football at Arizona State. NBA final start tomorrow, and then the Stanley Cup final goes on Saturday. This came in this morning, and I had not seen this, and I appreciate who sent this to me. This was Glenn. Parnelli Jones passed away, 90 years old. Passed away yesterday, and before the Unsers and the Andrettis, and there was Parnelli Jones, one of the greatest natural racers of all time. 1963 Indianapolis 500 winner. The family says passed away peacefully, natural causes, 2 days ago. And I know many of you, especially the old school racing fans, have great memories of Parnelli Jones, but not only is his name on body shops all around the country, he was a legend of what he did. So certainly want to acknowledge that. JJ, this story fascinates me in a way that probably isn't it. So you got a WNBA rookie ejected, 2 technical fouls. And we're not talking about Caitlin Clark. Angel Reese was called for her 5th personal foul in last night's game. Sky played the Liberty in the WNBA, and then got 2 technical fouls by the same official. When you're calling out officials by name, Charles Watson, it's probably never good. Their coach is Teresa Witherspoon, said, I tried to get an explanation. I did not. I don't know to this moment what happened. The lead official said Angel Reese technical fouls were for disrespectfully addressing the official and then for waving her hand in dismissal. Are we a little too sensitive, or is waving your hand in dismissal second technical foul worthy?
That is not second technical foul worthy. There's always the magic word.
Yep.
Sounds like that's how you got your first one. If you turn around and just do the shucks, like, get out of here, like, then you're in your feelings.
I mean, I didn't see. Did you see it? Did she put up her hand?
No, it was like one of those.
Just one of those waves,
wave someone off.
Like whatever. All right, that's ridiculous. WNBA better figure out, and I don't know if they can, dude. I don't know if anybody's gonna. And when we had this discussion yesterday, when we don't talk about what on the floor, well, yeah, Marty just said you don't talk about baseball. We don't talk about day-to-day baseball. During the regular season, we don't talk a whole lot about day-to-day NBA. We just don't. So I don't know how the WNBA is going to get there. So this is what you're going to talk about. But my favorite part of this story is Lonzo Ball. Like, wait, what? Shut up, Jeff. What? Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball was there. And I don't know if he's trying to get with Angel Reese or what the story is, but he was there and he said on X that he would pay the fine. By the way, $400 fine that Angel Reese faces for the WNBA for the 2 technical fouls. And they've got a system. So in the WNBA, the first 3 technical fouls in a season, you get a $200 fine for each. Technicals 4 to 6, you get a $400 fine. And I didn't know any of this. The 7th technical foul brings an $800 fine plus a 1-game suspension. I don't know what goes on after that. I don't know if it resets or if it's what happens. For context, because that was Angel Reese's, 5th, I believe. Caitlin Clark has 3. So there you go. Lonzo Ball said ref threw out Angel Reese is weak, by the way. You know who you are. Keep your money, Angel. I got you. And she replied, appreciate you. And that's just so random to me. I mean, is he just trying to get with her? Is he?
Dude, he has more than $400 on his person.
$400 easy. And $400 is not even it's a small fraction of what he had in his pocket. I like it. Yeah. That's my favorite part of the story. I don't know why. Angel Reese probably at some point going to have to figure it out too. Or are they picking on her? Because if this was Caitlin Clark, we'd have lost our minds, right? As a collective, we. Angel Reese got thrown out. And I'm just going to tell you, I think it's ridiculous that she gets a second technical for for waving her hand in a disrespectful manner, according to the WNBA, waving her hand in dismissal. I think it's crap. And if this was Caitlin Clark that happened to, we'd lose our mind. And if we're going to get mad at that, and I don't think we should, but then we should get mad at this one. Referees think people come to see that.
They do have feelings that get hurt and get caught up in the moment.
And I get it. They're human beings, and don't show me up and don't dismiss me. I get all that. But at some point, man, I by the way, 13 points, 10 rebounds in 24 minutes for Angel Reese. Her team lost, if you care. The New York Liberty beat the Chicago Sky 88-75. I feel now we got to make a point, or at least I do personally. JJ, whenever we talk about these off-court at WNBA, I feel obligated. I got to throw in the result because nobody seems to care about the results. I don't know. But for the record, we got to 9:00 without saying WNBA or Caitlin Clark.
You happy about that?
Kind of. Yeah. Are you?
I don't think it's a bad thing.
Yeah, I'm actually okay with it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's where I am. All right, 505-246-0610. We had Marty call in and say, by the way, I will not watch any of it. Okay, you don't have to. Cowboys are in camp. CeeDee Lamb extension. Micah Parsons called CeeDee Lamb the best in the NFL. And said he's about to hit the Brinks truck. So Micah Parsons seems to believe that CeeDee Lamb is the priority and the first guy who's going to get paid. We talked earlier about wide receivers. Tyreek Hill wants more. Justin Jefferson got more. Running back Christian McCaffrey got his yesterday. Another 2 years. Justin Jefferson, Offensive Player of the Year, reset the market, 4 years, $140 million, $110 guaranteed. Quote from Micah Parsons, CD is about to hit the Brinks truck. He's about to get his. I can't think of someone more deserving. I think CD is the best receiver in the league. If you ever want to argue the top three, in my eyes, seeing his mindset, how he comes in every day, I think he deserves every penny. So I'm going to be super excited for him, whatever his contract lays out. But it's going to be nice for sure. And I think they're all going to get paid. CeeDee Lamb, last year, led the league in receptions, second in the league in receiving yards, third in the league in receiving touchdowns, second in the league in scrimmage yards. What is scrimmage TDs? What is that stat? I don't think I know that.
Total touchdowns?
Scrimmage, total. Okay. So 2 rushing. Okay. Why does it say total touchdowns instead of scrimmage? I don't know that I've ever heard that phrase. All right. Pay the man. Camp's going on. Quote, if I'm his agent, CD's getting about $36 million per year, but I'm not his agent. Number aside, I don't know, obviously, what goes with the combative arguments on who versus who and whatever it may be. Do you think you could argue CD's better than Jefferson? However you want, CD should be right there with him. Whatever happened to you don't talk about another man's money? Wasn't that a real thing? You don't talk about another man's money?
Well, these guys are talking about getting paid.
Yeah, well,
in a positive context, not anything. If this dude shouldn't get it, this dude's overpaid. They're trying. It's like, okay. Yeah, let's get our money.
All right. So when it's positive, all right, that's fair. All right. Mike is going to get paid too, by the way. There better be some money left over in that Brinks truck for Michael Parsons when it's all said and done. And then,
well, are you paying wide receivers? Like, is this right now?
Else is.
Okay, but is that a winning formula?
So the two teams in the Super Bowl last year did not pay wide receivers. They did. They are now. They're paying Justin Jefferson after the fact, and they're paying whether it's going to be Ayuk and or Debo after the fact. Right?
Because we know it doesn't matter with Kansas City. Like, they have Patrick Mahomes.
Well, it's a great point. It's a great point.
Everyone else, how are you building to compete in this?
So the 4 teams who were in the conference finals were the Lions, the Niners, the Ravens, and the Chiefs, correct? The Chiefs are not paying wide receivers big money. They're not. They haven't. Tyreek Hill left. They are not. The other team in the Super Bowl was the Niners. They're going to pay Ayuk or Debo, right?
Well, they paid Debo. It wasn't this money.
I know. That's just kind of right. We lose kind
He had a 3-year contract extension.
Yeah. All right. So they're kind of paying receivers. The Lions just went out and paid Amon-Ra St. Brown. So their answer is absolutely yes. The Ravens, and this may all be after the fact, but the Ravens aren't. Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Aguilar, the Ravens are not. It's a really fair point. Guys are getting paid after the fact. But are they getting back to the Super Bowl with super paid receivers? Who's in the Super Bowl the year prior? It was the Eagles and is that not right?
Kansas City.
In Kansas City? Eagles paid theirs. But they paid him after the fact, right?
Yeah, well, Devontae Smith just got his contract extension this offseason.
Yeah, but did Brown get paid
A.J.
before?
Brown was making some money, but I don't think it wasn't.
He got paid after that Super Bowl, right? It's a really, really, really good question. Are you getting to the Super Bowl with your receiver making that kind of big money?
Because then it's the balance of,
yeah,
we'll say, well, this quarterback's good, but doesn't have anyone. So is the new formula kind of find your 1A? I think we saw that in the draft with why it was Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, Rome Odunze, trying to lean into this is our elite guy. Lock him in like the Lions did with Amon-Ra St. Brown. Pair him with a good quarterback and go.
Well, I think there is case studies that show the quarterback makes the receiver more so than the receiver makes the quarterback. I mean, you're telling me Patrick Mahomes is a different cat, and you're right, but Patrick Mahomes has been doing it. Tyreek Hill left, and he continues to do it. He doesn't have a stud wide receiver. He's got a stud receiver in Kelsey, but not a stud wide receiver. The MVP, who's his best wide receiver last year? Zay Flowers?
The rookie.
All right. And was he great? I mean, you wouldn't say he's top 5 or even 10 in the league, would you? Now, he's got a stud tight end who got hurt, but they're not doing it. I think it's going to be fascinating this year to see what Justin Herbert does. People love Justin Herbert, and rightfully so. But he doesn't have Keenan Allen anymore. He doesn't have Mike Williams anymore. He's got Quentin Johnson, who was their first-round pick last year, Lad McConkey, who they just went out and drafted the second round this year, and what has he got, Josh Palmer or something? I think that one's going to be interesting because if you look around, JJ, I would have told you it's really hard to find a quarterback putting up great numbers without stud wide receivers, but I just gave you the Super Bowl champion and the MVP. By the way, what did Tom Brady do for all those years? He had Randy Moss for what, 1 year?
Yeah,
2 years?
and I also think that's or the quarterback. Like I'm talking about
Brock Purdy,
Tua or
yeah,
Dak. Like the quarterbacks are like, are you winning
That
games?
mid-
But are you like? Is it, hey, we have to invest in everything around these guys before this guy?
Great point. It's a great
and then
point.
just feel like, hey, we have Waddle and Hill and take our chances if we can't afford Tua.
What would Tua be without with I don't know, Patrick Mahomes' receivers?
Wouldn't be leading the league in passing.
What would Dak Prescott be with Lamar Jackson's receivers? I think it's a really fair question. And now the other side of the coin is I got a young quarterback. I'm going to give him every opportunity to go out and be good. And so not only do I have DJ Moore, but I'm going to go get Keenan Allen and draft Rome Odunze and give
that is the right thing to do.
I agree. I agree with
it. Gets to this tipping point of when you've had success. And success doesn't always mean championship because you still have to build a competitive football team to try to get to a championship or win a playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
Start there. You have now, Miami moving forward, Detroit moving forward. Of all right, these guys are locked in. What does it look like now?
Build your team. 505-246-0610. What are the Raiders going to do at quarterback? And will the competition make them better? That's what their head coach seems to think. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
The Jim Rome Show.
So you would think that this...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here, and I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Adventure is leading the charge in the NIL space, and you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us, and my wife, and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together
Pull together
Pull together.
to make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Ralph says Rams don't win the Super Bowl without Cooper Kupp. Pay the man. Cooper Kupp, he got paid, didn't he? Right after the Super Bowl, he got paid, didn't he? I mean, at the time, he was paid. Like a year from now, it's like Tyreek Hill got paid. Now he's saying, well, pay me more.
Well, and that's the thing. They had it. They had their wide receiver one paired with Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
The right quarterback.
And then they won a Super Bowl. Now they got, who's their wide receiver one right now, would you say?
Puka Nacua.
He is, huh? God, I'm so mad I didn't take him for $1 last year. I mean, the worst, well, I made a lot of bad fantasy football moves. That's coming up quick, too. How's your podcast coming, by the way? Fantasy football stuff.
Good.
What's it called?
Three Dudes Fantasy Football Podcast.
Where do people find it?
Best bet now is YouTube. We're recording shows weekly. I'm out there doing a lot of Dynasty talk right now.
You should just do like best team name.
Deep in a lot of rookie
Who's your favorite
discussion.
Rookie?
What are we talking about?
Roma Duzzi?
Wide receiver. It's Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, he's the
for,
guy.
for rookie wide receivers. My favorite one that I'm going to have on my roster is going to be Keon Coleman.
From Buffalo? Everybody loves him.
Because Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Nambers, Roma Dunze, they're the first round picks. They're the buzz. Like everyone's going to be selecting those guys. They're going to go high. Coleman is just going to be sneaky, kind of flying under the radar. Chance to be wide receiver one in Buffalo. Like the upside.
Yeah, I don't hate that either. All right, but you got to have a quarterback. Gardner Minshew started 20 games for the Jaguars, 4 for the Eagles, 13 for the Colts. Will he start for the Raiders? He's competing with Aiden O'Connell for the starting quarterback job in Las Vegas. They're splitting snaps with the starting offense. That is expected to continue into the preseason. Minshew, quote, "It's been great. We've both put together a good camp so far. We've been pushing each other, but also just enjoying each other in our room. We're having a ton of fun right now and being very competitive. I think that's it's only going to make our team better," end quote. People tell you all the time, competition makes you better. If you have two number ones, do you have a number one? Right? In college football, they tell you all the time, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have any.
This quarterback room really intrigued me because there's zero expectation.
Okay.
And I think if in a Gardner Minshew starts, you know you have a chance to at least be a competitive team. He's going to sling the football around. They have all of a sudden like multitude of weapons available on the offense for him. And then if Aiden O'Connell wins the job and he's able to hold off Minshew, who's shown you that he can play in this league, be competitive, then I think that all of a sudden that there's a little bit of excitement for Raiders.
Is there not if it's Gardner Minshew?
I think if Gardner Minshew wins, you feel like O'Connell he came up short. Minshew you're always going to be left wanting more when Gardner Minshew's your quarterback.
Can you get better?
Yes.
Okay, so we talk about development, and I'm not sure I've got a prototype for you here. Maybe it's Ryan Tannehill. Maybe. But can you start your career like Gardner Minshew did, a 6th-round pick as a backup, and play your way into being a good starting quarterback in the National League?
Yes.
Is there a
it's not Ryan Tannehill's first-round pick.
He was, and it didn't work in Miami. So who is it? Who's the guy? I mean, is it Romo? Undrafted free agent, was a backup, kind of played his way into it. Maybe it's Brady, but they never spent time as a backup somewhere, right? I mean, other than where they were, Brady was a backup to Bledsoe, got his chance, and never let go of him.
Yeah, there's not many stories like Gardner Minshew. He wasn't drafted to be a starter,
right?
Nor
was Brock Purdy, by the way.
No, but there's Brock Purdy. I guess Kirk Cousins could be that.
That's good.
In a way.
No, that's good.
Who
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins was selected in the same draft as RG3.
Yeah, I think first and third round. If I'm
in the
not
fourth
mistaken.
round.
Fourth round. Yeah, that's good. I say that because we talk about development of guys first round, right? Like I look at Justin Fields, and it didn't work in Chicago. Now he's in a new spot. He may end up being a starter, may end up being a long-term starter, may not. But you're giving him the opportunity to develop. And saying, all right, if that guy develops, he's got the skills. We saw it. He could be our guy. Can Gardner Minshew become that?
Well, Gardner Minshew is that.
Let's say he wins the job this year.
He's been a backup.
Yeah.
But he's getting these opportunities because they go, oh, we trust him to play football. They don't necessarily trust him to.
Yeah. Sam Darnold
might
be that guy, although he was drafted in the first round. But now he's been a backup.
So I think Gardner Minshew has absolutely proved himself to start that many games, even.
But yet you don't trust him. You just said, like, if Aiden O'Connell wins the job, there's going to be an excitement. But if Gardner Minshew, well, all right, Aiden didn't win the job, and we're probably looking for a quarterback next year, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't think that's a slight. I think it's just who he is.
Okay. It might be. Because I don't have an example of that kind of a guy who was drafted late, who's been a backup, and
like he's still only going to be 28 years old.
Dude, like he may be in the league for another 12 years.
Yeah, he's going into like this opportunity for him with an offense. You're like, all right, you have Devontae Adams, you have Brock Bowers, Michael Myers, you're good tight end too.
Mm-hmm.
Jacoby Myers is a solid wide receiver too.
Got all the chances he can have.
This is a very good opportunity. Yeah. And when wasn't a solid situation last year, when you look at the culture, like, oh, that's a solid football team. It was 7-6.
Dude, when Anthony Richardson went down, everybody signed off the case. And I think they missed the playoffs by a game, right? So, I mean, I'm just interested in watching that whole thing play out. I think the Raiders situation, while not the best, is one of the most interesting to me. That and the Steelers. Those ones. All right. One running back got paid. There's another running back that was kind of the flavor of the month about this time last year. Can he do it all? Can he be expected to do it all? Because that team should be good. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
Telling it like it is.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here, and I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space, and you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Okay.
Thank you.
In the Google Play or iTunes App Store. Just search KNML.
Damn. I don't know what I did to my shoulder. You go to the big NMBA dinner, JJ? Big awards dinner coming up on the 21st?
Yeah, someone has to accept the award.
All right, because I told Addie yesterday, I said, if JJ can't go, do you want to go accept it in our stead? She's like, I can do that? We can do whatever we want, man. Joe Diaz going to the Hall of Fame that night. JJ Buck's going to accept the opening drive's best sports show in the market again for the, I believe the 8 out of 9. I want to say, I might be wrong. I could go count them up. I think it was 12 out of 16. It's a good dinner. Good desserts always. Usually pretty good people, right?
Yeah.
You need a sports coat for that? I just got a kind of cool one, it's lilac. Like I'll save them for media days. Just to get
good.
altered. Like a light purple, but it's a patterned one. I think you'll like it. All right. Last year, right around now, Bijan Robinson was kind of the flavor of the month, the big rookie running back going in. He averaged 12.6 carries per game as a rookie. And I think there was a big, why aren't they using it? Caught 58 passes, 8 total touchdowns. Quote, I'm going to be more of a runner that does everything else, like runner first, like what I did in college. And then still having that access to go receiver, still having the access to do creative things out of the back. More like how they use Christian McCaffrey down there in San Francisco. Something like that. So that's kind of what the plan is here. That was his quote. Can he be that guy? Can he do everything?
Yes. Everyone's chasing Christian McCaffrey right now. He's one of one with his explosiveness, everything he can do. I think of the first round backs last year, Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson, incredible upside. I think they're going to pay dividends because in a league that doesn't want to necessarily keep paying these guys a lot of money after the fact, when you have a playmaker to have a total offense, it matters. Because you look last year, so we talk about Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City, him being the ultimate eraser. Like, he's just going to cover everything up. You don't have to have an elite wide receiver. You got an elite, as you've said, an elite receiver in Travis Kelce. But one of the things that's helped them stay consistent is the run game. Now, it was finding Isaiah Pacheco in the 7th round, but having that consistent run game with that. And Robinson
Is that where they found him, 7th round?
Isaiah Pacheco. 7th round pick. And they missed on Clyde Edwards-Helaire, which was a 1st round pick.
Kind of shows you how inexact that whole science is, right?
So I think Robinson in that offense, he was solid last year, but it was when you're drafted where he was and kind of coming in with all that hype as the number 1 running back when you finished 15th in the league in rushing. You weren't Christian McCaffrey right away. Everyone's like, oh, but now all of a sudden Kirk Cousins should expand that offense, take a little bit of pressure off Bijan. Drake London's going to be better. We'll see if Kyle Pitts can be healthy.
They're interesting. They're really, really interesting.
What team is not
Carolina.
interesting in the NFL?
Carolina. They're really not. That's fair. New Orleans. Little. I mean,
Yeah, there's just New Orleans is just. I will say I'm interested in Carolina to see if can Bryce Young be an average NFL quarterback at this point in time, let alone try to live up to the hype that is there with the number 1 pick, which he's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, New Orleans is definitely one of those teams. It's kind of like the definition of average. New Orleans.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, and the NFL's done a great job of you can make a compelling story for every single team, including your Chargers and your guy, Justin Herbert.
Ooh, this one was interesting.
This is everybody's got the same opinion on Herbert. He's that good, right? He is that guy. And then there's Chris Harris Jr. Who is Chris Harris Jr.?
Played 2 years with the Chargers. He's a cornerback.
Where's he now?
He's retired.
He's retired. Yeah. Okay. So he played with them?
Yes.
Okay. Quote Chris Harris Jr. He's missing that clutch factor. It's that fourth quarter dominance that you can see from a Brady, that you see from a Mahomes or Big Ben. When I played against those guys, the game was a touchdown or 3 points, I was nervous. End quote. That's Harris talking in an interview with Kay Adams about Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert in these 2 seasons, or in his first 2 seasons, was 15 to 17 as a starter. He continued. I think he does have it, but it's going to take an experienced coach to bring that out of him. That's why I think Harbaugh is going to be a great fit. This is the first person on record, I think, that I've heard. And I'm sure it's not the first one. But
dude, when I read this story, I was like, Jeff is going to be so excited.
Well,
he's going to love this.
Look, I don't hate Justin Herbert. And if I'm drafting a quarterback in today's pool, and, I don't know that I got 5 dudes that I'm picking in front of him. I'm taking Mahomes and probably Lamar and probably Joe Burrow, and I think Josh Allen. And after that, who else are you taking for sure in front of Justin Herbert? Right? I like him a lot, but he gets a pass on straight talent, and they're not winning games. And any other quarterback, it feels like when they don't win games, gets a pass. Lamar's gotten beat up a little bit. Yeah, he's won 2 MVPs, but he can't get to the Super Bowl, right? Those sorts of things. They blew a 27-0. I can't blame it all on him. I mean, when you're up 27-0 and Brandon Staley's your coach, and you take your foot off the gas offensively and absolutely pee down your leg defensively in a playoff game, it can't all be on the quarterback, but the left tackle doesn't get a win-loss. The wide receiver doesn't get a win-loss. The quarterback does. And when we throw all the accolades at a quarterback, they're gonna take some shrapnel that maybe they don't deserve. But by the same token, he's got to start to win games. And now he's got Harbaugh. But I don't know what's more important, having Harbaugh or having Keenan Allen and Mike Williams.
Having Harbaugh.
We're going to find out, aren't we?
I think it's also a team thing. I think it's.
I mean, because his franchise is cursed.
Yeah, I think that was actually a fantastic description of Justin Herbert. Like we were having talked about it in that regard of fourth quarter, but I think some of that folds into that team didn't have confidence late. Like that team folded.
Almost waiting because Brandon Staley was their coach. Almost waiting to
and that again, it sounds like more excuses for Justin Herbert. Like it's on him. He's paid. Like they're locked in. He's their franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
But I think this is one of the ones you look at and go, okay, like there's a reason that I still trust Justin Herbert, even with what we've seen, because coaching still matters in a league that it's about. Yes, it's Jimmy's and the Joes, but to push some of those Jimmy's and the Joes over the top, I think Harbaugh and his staff are going to do that for the Chargers.
Same team. It could be the Lions or the Chargers. You get the ball. You're down by 4. 2 minutes to go. 1 timeout. You want Justin Herbert or Jared Goff as your quarterback? See, you're thinking about it, and it shouldn't even be something
Goff
we
has
think about.
earned it.
Yeah,
Like,
and
Goff-
that's my whole point. Right? I mean, theoretically, logically, off the top, that's an easy answer, man. Herbert's way better than Goff. Is he? Is he?
And this is a hard conversation to have. The question you just asked, like, if all things are equal, Jared Goff or Justin Herbert, I think that's a close conversation. But when we have these, and you're someone that's like, well, I just watched, Jared Goff get to the NFC Championship game. I've watched Jared Goff get to the Super Bowl. That's where you're going.
Because you trust him. Because he's come through in clutch moments way more than Justin Herbert has. And at some point, you've got to. It hasn't all been play call. I mean, Justin Herbert. There's been times where he just hadn't made plays, dude. At some point, you got to go back and look at the games. Go, where's he throwing there? That's a bad throw. He's got to make that throw. He's got to make that decision. Well, quarterback. I look at the end of games sometimes, and I think it's 70% players and 30% coaches. And I think coaches get a whole lot of the blame and credit when for late game execution. Coaches can screw up the clock and whatever, but you've known me for a long time, man. I'm a big players make play guy. Coaches get too much blame and credit. I firmly believe. Now, there's always outlying conversations here where coaches make a difference in a situation, but players make plays. And I didn't know he was 15 and 17 those 2 years. Did you?
Yeah, because this is one where it is really a head scratcher. Because to me, there's zero question on Herbert. Like, does he need to win? Yes. But, like, if it's one of those things, I think it's Matthew Stafford 2.0, and I'll say that until.
Yeah, and that's really, really good.
It's the whole, like, at what point you keep looking at Detroit and you're just like, this guy.
No, it's a really fair comparison.
And then the first time he just gets out of there and wins a Super Bowl.
Yeah. No, I think it's terrific.
Because you look at it for the Chargers, like, they've been paper champions. They have. There's a lot of players not available on both sides of the football. And then I know you can't just stare at box scores. That's not going to tell the whole story. But when I look at a guy that, as a rookie, 31 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 4,300 yards. Next year, 38 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, 5,000 yards. 4,700 yards, 25 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. You're like, how is this team not winning?
Fair question. Makes you think, what if Dan Marino would have got traded somewhere else, kind of another franchise? Right? I mean, I think of great quarterbacks who are on teams that never won. I think of Dan Fouts. I think of Marino's the first one. Fran Tarkenton, he got to Super Bowls but never won. I mean, there's been great quarterbacks over the years that didn't win. Great ones. How can you be great if you never won? I don't know, man. Marino was great. Fouts was great.
And this is what we've seen in football. Is, had that all those names that you just laid out. But two, you look at this era of stacking Tom Brady, even with the time in between, like, that dude won 6 Super Bowls. Mahomes is in there. Like, there's going to be a lot of good quarterbacks over the last 25
Don't win.
and then the next 10 years that are not going to get their chance.
Look, man, we think Josh Allen and Joe Burrow are great quarterbacks that haven't won a Super Bowl. Been to one between. 505-246-0610. I don't know, man. Where are you on Justin Herbert? Really, really good, but gets a pass. Somebody who played with him called him out and said, quote, he's missing that clutch factor. Everything you got to know as you go through your Wednesday on the opening drive. Next on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This is Boomer Esiason with
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Industries is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protection.
Used for a little bit. Yeah, they were hard to miss. All right, so that's where you are. Isotopes are back at it today. They are in Sacramento. They'll be on the air. I think with 7:30 first pitch, 7:15 is when Josh will crack the microphone for the pregame show. Hey, this is interesting. You put this on here, and I didn't get to it. New York Giants fans, football fans, been salty about Saquon Barkley. Giants had a lot of chances to sign him long-term deal. So in addition to the boost Saquon hears directly, head coach of Philadelphia, Nick Sirianni, has gotten some of it too. Quote, sometimes you see Giants fans around here with it being so close and, they give me like, hey, go Giants, and I typically let it go. But if the guy gets me good enough, I usually say, I got your best player. That's kind of good, right? I mean,
Nick Sirianni is one of those coaches that he's going to give it, but he seems okay with taking it after the fact because it comes down to the situation. Whether you want to be the bat flipper or the talker, like, if you give it, you got to be able to take it. And it seems like he can handle that role, and it's a little feisty. And Philadelphia's got to enjoy that from their head coach.
Yeah, and look, Lord knows how long he's going to be their head coach. He better win this year, or he won't be anymore. I like him, and I like a coach that's going to give back. All right, you put this on here as well. We talked a lot about the WNBA over the last couple of days, and everybody's going back and forth with the schedule that the Fever played. What did they play? 11 games in 19 days, or whatever it is. And you got a little perspective here. There's going to be condensed stretches because of the Olympic break. So every team in the WNBA is going to be off from July 21 through August 14th. That's 3 weeks because of the Paris Games. So there'll be other taxing stretches that are going to pop up throughout. And it's not just going to be Indiana. But you put on here, and this is good, the Fever, the Indiana Fever, that's the team for whom Caitlin Clark plays. The frequency of their games has been historic to open the season. So they have played a more intense stretch by a game or two than everybody else, correct?
That is correct.
All right. And so coming off of if she's tired, she's tired. Dude, I don't blame her. And I'm going to assume she's on the Olympic team?
She's not on the Olympic team yet.
She's not?
No.
When do they announce that? We're kind of coming up quick on that, aren't we? I mean, if anybody could use a break, it's probably her.
Yeah. No,
honestly. Between the emotional stuff and, Jeff, emotional, it's so hard on her. Whatever, man. You go through all that. You have people throwing, and again, it's not a woe is her. It's just not easy. I think, you'd all put yourself in that position. But, yeah, she's going through a lot emotionally, physically. She just played a full season, now playing another full season, and stepping up in class. I mean, it almost feels like, what do you do if you're hurt? Like, do you owe it to your country to play in the Olympics? Do you owe it to yourself to take a break? Where do you go with this? Or do you say, I'll get my break in September?
I think she'll play if she gets the opportunity.
How does she not get the opportunity? I mean, honestly, let alone, first of all, I do believe she's one of the 12 best women's players in the world, or in the country, don't you?
Well, so right now the backcourt would be Chelsea Gray, Sabrina Ionescu, Jewel Lloyd, and Jackie Young.
Yeah, you're going to have to help.
And I know people will be like, well, I don't know who any of those people are. Right? Yeah. Well, Chelsea Gray is champion with Vegas, one of the most steady point guards
you've
seen in basketball. Ionescu is better than Caitlin Clark
yes,
right now.
I agree with that.
And so there's your 2 point guards.
Okay.
And so I guess you'd say, all right, coming off the bench, Jules Lloyd is a legit scorer. And so probably like Jackie Young.
All right. By the way, it's the popularity of what she brings to the game. All right. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On is here at
4 o'clock. And then you get Ice Hopes baseball. They'll be in Sacramento. 7:30 first pitch. Josh Such on the call. Adrian, great work as always. BB Juck, big day for you.
Huge day.
Go out and watch some basketball practice, huh? It's good. Enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here, and I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space, and you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
If you're drunk,
Blasted.
intoxicated,
Rip. Plastered.
destroyed, bruh.
If you're like this,
You shouldn't be driving.